Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So when it comes to spoiler seasons, I don't always sleep the best because I've got this bad habit of when I wake up, instead of just rolling over, I check my phone and see if there's any interesting cards. And then I see one and then think about all the possibilities of that card, and then I can't sleep anymore. And that's exactly what happened with this one, which is exactly why I'm recording this one super early in the morning. But I've already put down one cup of coffee, so I'm ready to go! Now again, with all these Kaldheim spoiler episodes, a quick spoiler warning. Even though this card's really awesome, if you don't want to be spoiled on it, don't watch it. And with all that said, let's jump into it. This quick take is on Moritte of the Frost, an uncommon legendary snow creature, but there's nothing uncommon about this. It's a 0/0 shapeshifter that costs 2 green, blue, blue, and it has changeling, so this card is every creature type. It has quite a bit of text, so here we go. You may have Moritte of the Frost enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow in addition to its other types, and if it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it and has changeling. So first up, to my knowledge, this is the very first legendary snow creature. Snow is a really big thing in Kaldheim, and I'm excited to see snow get more and more support. Now, not only is this the first snow commander, but it can also become a copy of any of your permanents, and then that permanent is snow. So you see that soul ring that you got right there? Well, now you also have a snow soul ring. Now how relevant that is, I'm not exactly sure. We're definitely going to see more and more interactions with snow with the more Kaldheim spoilers that we see. But again, keep in mind that this can be a copy of any permanent you control. Ricksmith is no longer the only land commander. And if you choose one of your creatures, remember that it comes into play with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it, and it has changeling. Now that might not seem like a lot of extra benefit, but it can be really broken in the right deck. Especially for an uncommon commander, this is incredibly powerful. And with this spoiled, I'm sure we're going to see more and more powerful uncommon commanders in this set. We're starting to see somewhat of a pattern. If you haven't seen my episode on Cole the Forge Master, make sure you go check it out. Cole is another uncommon commander from Kaldheim, and he just might be the new combo king. In this episode, I show off a potential turn 2 combo, but there are plenty of people in the comments pointing out turn 1 combos with this one too. And actually, Moritte, the very first legendary snow creature, has plenty of combos as well. But we'll get to those here in a bit. First off, let's talk about some similar cards to this one. Now, when it comes to a similar commander that we can compare Moritte to, one, or I should say two, really come to mind. And that would be Sakashima of 1,000 Faces and Sakashima the Imposter. Both are essentially clones in your command zone. Now, unlike Moritte, Sakashima of 1,000 Faces gets around the legend rule, and Sakashima the Imposter can actually be bounced back to your hand so that you can recast it as something else. The major difference, though, is that Moritte can clone any of your things, not just creatures. This is the very first time that we have seen this kind of a card in the command zone, and again, it is an uncommon commander. It's essentially a clever impersonator that's restricted to your own things, but it's got a lot of upside as well. And it's actually somewhat like Altered Ego, which is a clone that can come and play with counters. But with Altered Ego, you actually have to pay extra mana to get those counters, and that's a huge difference. And the reason why is that Moritte can be absolutely busted with Persist creatures. So much like Grumgully the Generous, this is a Persist combo creature in your command zone. For example, let's talk about Airy Oofs to talk about the Persist mechanic. It's a 3/3 Oof that costs 4 and a green, and by sacrificing it, it's going to deal damage equal to its power to target creature with flying. And of course it has Persist, which means when this creature is put into a graveyard from play, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, you return it to play under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. So with this or any other Persist creature, our commander in a sacrifice outlet, we can go infinite. Because when our commander is a copy of this, it comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters. By sacrificing it either to its own effect or to one of our sacrifice outlets, we're going to make it hit the graveyard. Because Moritte had Persist and didn't have any -1/-1 counters on it, it's going to come back into play with a -1/-1 counter. We're going to have Moritte come back into play as a copy of Airy Oofs again, and then again, because it's Moritte, it comes into play with 2 additional +1/+1 counters. So one of those +1/+1 counters is going to cancel out the -1/-1 counter we got because of that Persist. Now we've got a Moritte clone of Airy Oof that's got one +1/+1 counter on it and no -1/-1 counters on it. So we can sacrifice it again and repeat the process as many times as we want. Now this works with any free sacrifice outlet and any Persist creature, but there are certain Persist creatures that I really want to highlight in this episode. First off, if you've got the budget for it, Glenelendra Archmage is a fantastic inclusion in this deck. It's a Persist creature that has pay a blue, sacrifice it, counter target non-creature spell. So basically with your commander as a clone of this, you can just keep sacrificing your commander for a blue to counter target non-creature spell. You've got a repeatable negate for just a blue mana. Another one is going to be Woodfall Primus, which when it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent. So with a free sack outlet in your commander, congratulations, you've blown up all of your opponent's non-creature permanents, including their lands. Keep in mind that this does not say may, so if you keep going, you're going to blow up your own things, but I'm sure you can find plenty of ways to win once you blow up all of your opponent's lands, and artifacts, and enchantments, and planeswalkers. Everything but their creatures. The final one, and perhaps the best target for your commander, is River Kelpie. It has Persist, and whenever it or another permanent enters the battlefield from a graveyard, draw a card, and whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, draw a card. So with your commander as a copy of this and a free sacrifice outlet, you're going to be able to draw your entire deck. And then again, I'm sure you have plenty of ways to win from there. Now, I have mentioned that you do need a free sacrifice outlet to make this work, so let's go through a few now. There are plenty of options out there, even in Simic, but perhaps one of the best ones that you get access to is Greater Good. It has sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, then discard 3 cards. So, much like River Kelpie, if you've got the right amount of power on your commander, you can basically draw your entire deck. But there are actually some outlets that act as an outlet as well as a finisher with Altar of Dementia and Blasting Station. Altar of Dementia lets you mill all of your opponents, and Blasting Station pings all of your opponents down. And if you want infinite mana, well, and if you've got the budget for them, there's Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar. Ashnod's Altar is going to give you infinite colorless mana, and Phyrexian Altar is going to give you infinite mana of any colors. But again, you should even consider one like Spawning Pip that can't win on its own, but it can give you a ton of creatures. Because there are plenty of other finishers out there that you can combine this with, like Altar of the Brood. It has whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. So yeah, mill everyone out with your infinitely persisting commander. But now it's time for me to talk about my gut feeling on this card. Again, Moritte of the Frost is our very first snow commander and the very first commander that we have that can clone any of our permanents. On top of that, it's an incredibly powerful combo card with Persist creatures. Now, obviously you don't have to play combo and you can take this commander in a lot of different directions. But after seeing both Moritte and Cole, I think a pattern is being established. I have a feeling that Kaldheim is going to have many more incredibly powerful uncommon commanders. So ironically, I probably should have held off on my overpowered uncommon commanders episode until after Kaldheim came out. Yeah, my bad on that. And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again and have a good one.